How is it that you're more hooked on your phone than a cocaine user is on their substance of choice? That's not an exaggeration. Research reveals the typical individual glances at their phone 96 times each day. That's literally every 10 minutes you're awake. Meanwhile, cocaine addicts generally get their fix 2 to 3 times daily. Your smartphone is, by the numbers, more captivating than hard drugs, and almost no one is raising the alarm. I came to this realization the tough way after discovering I'd clocked 11 hours on my phone in a single day. 11 hours! That's more time than most people dedicate to sleeping. And the most terrifying part? I had absolutely no clue where all that time had vanished. Here's the inside scoop they hope you never learn. The attention economy is a behemoth worth over $700 billion a year. Companies like Facebook, Google, and TikTok aren't in the business of social media. They are meticulously designed attention harvesting machines. And your focus is the commodity they're selling. Every single scroll, each swipe, and all those just 5 more minutes, moments, are perfectly engineered. The endless feed wasn't a fluke. Those bright red notification dots weren't a random color choice. Even the pull down to refresh gesture is designed to mimic the lever of a casino slot machine. But this is the part that will truly turn your stomach. They employed the very same neuroscientists who consult for the gambling industry. The exact same tactics that are used to glue people to slot machine seats in casinos are baked right into every single app on your device. Tristan Harris, who once worked as a design ethicist at Google, laid it bare. The issue isn't a lack of willpower in people. The issue is that 1,000 individuals on the other side of the screen have a job to undermine whatever self-control you possess. It's the adversary you never saw coming. I considered myself clever. I was convinced I could outmaneuver the algorithm. For a full 3 years, I attempted every trick in the book. App blocking software, digital detox weekends. I would proudly delete Instagram, get rid of TikTok, and even block YouTube on my web browser. I would make it a week, sometimes even a few months, feeling so much better than everyone else who was still plugged into the matrix. Inevitably, I would fall off the wagon, and harder than before. A single quick peek would spiral into a 6-hour vortex that left me feeling drained and utterly disgusted with myself. That was the moment the harsh reality hit me. The applications themselves aren't the source of the addiction. They are simply the dealer. Your real dependency is on being constantly entertained, on keeping your brain buzzing with stimulation, and on never having to sit alone with your own thoughts. We have cultivated an entire generation that can't tolerate 30 seconds of boredom without instinctively reaching for a screen. But let me tell you what's actually going on inside your head during one of those harmless scrolling marathons. It's the brain takeover that nobody talks about. Each time you receive a like, get a comment, or even just stumble upon something vaguely amusing, your brain gets a hit of dopamine, the exact same chemical that fires off during sex, while eating a great meal, or when using cocaine. But here's the truly devious element. In contrast to natural sources of dopamine, social media delivers what experts term variable ratio reinforcement. You have no idea when the next reward is coming. This is the precise psychological hook that makes gambling so incredibly addictive. Your brain physically adapts and develops a tolerance. The content that used to keep you engaged for hours now feels stale in minutes, compelling you to scroll faster, consume more, and seek out even stronger stimuli. Ringing any bells? Dr. Anna Lemke from the Stanford Medical School has dubbed it digital heroin. And the withdrawal effects are no joke. Anxiety, feelings of depression, an inability to concentrate, and even phantom phone vibrations. Here's where the story takes a fascinating turn, a study that changes the entire game. Researchers at Stanford followed 2 sets of individuals who were trying to cut down on their screen time. Group A employed the usual strategies, setting app limits, relying on willpower, and going on digital detoxes. Group B, however, replaced their consumption time with creation time, activities like writing, coding, making music, or creating art. 6 months later, Group A had achieved an average screen time reduction of 12%. Group B saw their screen time plummet by an average of 73%. But get this, the most incredible part is that Group B wasn't even focused on reducing their screen time. Their primary goal was simply to create more stuff. So why does this approach triumph when all others seem to fail? Your brain is hardwired to crave novelty, challenge, and dopamine. Social media delivers them all, but in artificial, fleeting, bite-sized pieces. Creation, on the other hand, provides them in sustainable and deeply meaningful doses. When you're scrolling, you're a passive recipient of dopamine. When you're creating, you are actively earning it. The distinction? Earned dopamine provides a richer satisfaction and is far less addictive. Just think about it. Have you ever binged a Netflix series for 8 hours straight and felt genuinely proud of yourself? Now contrast that with the last time you invested 3 hours into a project you were passionate about. Which one felt better? But there's an even more profound shift taking place. When you create, you transform your identity from a consumer to a contributor, from being part of the audience to being the artist, from a follower into a leader. Now for the part that might make you squirm a little. Most people will never do this. Why not? Because consuming is simply easier than creating. Being passively entertained takes less effort than being actively engaged. Following the path is less demanding than blazing a new trail. The majority of people would rather watch 4 hours of YouTube videos about playing the guitar than spend 30 minutes actually practicing the instrument. They'd rather read about getting fit than actually exercise, and consume content about being productive rather than actually producing anything. They choose to live vicariously through the creative acts of others instead of nurturing their own. I can say this with certainty because I used to be one of them. The day it dawned on me that I knew more about my favorite YouTuber's daily schedule than I did about my own life goals was the day my entire perspective shifted. This is the 90-day identity shift. Here is my analytical takeaway, formed from studying behavioral psychology and putting this to the test on myself and many others. Your addiction is not to your phone, it's to being in a state of mental inactivity. The only lasting cure is to achieve mental engagement through the act of creation. Give this a shot for the next 90 days. Every single time you feel that pull to consume mindless content, make something instead. It doesn't matter what it is. Write a single paragraph. Doodle a quick sketch. Code a simple little program. Record a voice note about an idea. Film a 30-second video. Keep a daily log of your consumption time versus your creation time. I can personally guarantee that within 30 days, you will find yourself naturally consuming less without even trying. Within 60 days, you'll find you actually prefer creating to consuming. And within 90 days, you'll look back and wonder how you ever managed to live differently. But there's a crucial catch, and you need to get this. You must approach this as a fundamental change in your identity, not just a change in your habits. You are no longer someone who is trying to use their phone less. You are now a person who creates more than they consume. Because here's the final controversial truth. In a world overflowing with consumers, it's the creators who hold all the cards. They possess the money, the influence, the sense of fulfillment, and the freedom that consumers are so desperately searching for with every endless scroll. The question isn't whether this strategy will work for you. The data shows that it does. The real question is whether you're actually going to do it, or if you're just going to save this video for later and dive right back into scrolling. So, what's your move going to be? With that said, I appreciate you watching, and until the next time.